Hey everyone, this is Alan Redman with Streamline Landlord Service. This video is to talk about rental agreements. So in this situation, what I've done here is I've got two properties that I've created. They're both just single family homes, but it's not really too important what they are. First is I called it house, so this is going to be a residential rental agreement. Someone can rent this, and then this will just represent a commercial space. So I've got two tenants. So I just created one guy, Jameson Randolph and Leland Henson. I use a random name generator because I'll just end up naming everything tenant one and tenant two if I don't do that. Anywho, a rental agreement represents the lease of a unit. So just think of a rental agreement as a relationship between a particular unit, property unit, and a one or more tenants over time. So to create our first rental agreement, we can choose, okay, we've got house number one. We can assign any tenants we want. We can pick one of these guys. We can pick both of these guys if they're roommates, for example. If not, we can just leave it at that. If you are dealing with a multi-unit property, like if this commercial space happened to be multi-unit, there would be a little drop down would show up here and you could choose what unit it was. Right here, we can choose the rental type. This is residential versus commercial. And you can put in whatever your monthly rent is, damage deposit, pet deposit. The only difference really between residential and commercial is this pet deposit goes away. Because normally we don't have pets in residential or commercial spaces. But rental status, that defaults to active, but you can set it as pending if you're not ready to save this yet or whatever, if this is just kind of a work in progress. Um, it has to be active in order for you to set up a monthly rent payment, so just be aware of that. The rental term type, this defaults to fixed term, so a 1 year lease, but we can have it as month to month as well. If it's month to month, the end date is not required, but you can always fill it in if you want. So a pretty standard one would be fixed term. Let's put this a little ways from now. We'll just put it there. And yeah, so we'll save this. So now Jameson Randolph has effectively a lease or a rental agreement for 1 Main Street, and that starts August 20th, and that'll end June 4th of next year, and he has a monthly rent of $1,000. And one thing to note is you can only have one rental agreement on a property unit at one point in time. So I can't go and create for the same property, I can't add Leland, you know, because rental agreement dates cannot overlap, right? So you can't have two leases overlapping. So as soon as this one's done, we can start, the next one can start after that, but it needs an end date. If it's a month to month with no end date, then, obviously you need to have an end date before you can make the next one. But if you have any questions about this, of course, just reach out to us at support@streamlinels.com as well. Now, the only other thing I wanted to go over was in action, we can edit the rental agreement and we can go to the rental agreement documents. These two are for PAD, manage payments and view transactions. We'll talk about that in the PAD videos. But for right now, going to rental documents, what this does is allows us to upload files and you can have a nice list of files. These are typically leases, PAD forms, rental applications, I don't know, anything you want to put in there. And you can also share it with the tenants on the rental agreement from here. So there's a little button you can click to email them or send them through a text message. So that's about it. Rental agreements are pretty simple. It just represents the lease. They can't overlap. You can have residential and commercial. This little red indicator here, again, that's a PAD thing. So we'll talk about that in the PAD videos. But that's it. And again, if you have any questions at all, reach out to us at support@streamlinels.com. Thanks very much.